that you know about the fundamentals of Flexbox, let's finally start adding Flexbox to our previous project. First thing first, I want you to download the starting files for this project from the video's description. And after downloading, I want you to open that project into your VS Code, and after that please run your live server. After running live server, you can see that this is the layout that we built before using floats. Like we use float to float the snap bar to the right, and also we use float here to position these images side by side. And now in this video we are going to change the float logic, and now we will use Flexbox instead of floats. And after changing float logic into Flexbox, we will also create this nice hero section for our web page using Flexbox. And now open your CSS file, and here is our header selector. Now in this we are going to change. First I am removing this overflow property because we don't need this, and please also remove this float right from this navbar. Now after removing this float right property from navbar, we are going to add display flex to our header container like this. And now after saving, you can see our navbar is now at the right position by simply just using our display flex property. But if we see this header section on full width, you can see our navbar is not at the right side of our header section. So now here we need some space between these two elements. So how we can give space between these two elements, between this image and this navbar element? So to give space between these two, we need to use justify content property, and we are going to set its value to space between. And now after saving our file, you can see we have space between our image and this navbar by just simply using this justify content property and setting its value to space between. After this, I want to remove this margin top property, and as I hit save, you can see we have a problem here. And the problem is because removing the margin from the top, now this navbar is not at the center of our header. Like this is not vertically centered. Now how we can achieve this? And this is also very simple. Just going back to our header element, and here we just need to use align item property, and I hope you remember what this property is for. So this property is to center our elements vertically. So just use align items property and set its value to center. Now after hitting save, our navbar is perfectly vertically centered, and this is how we can vertically center any items in our Flexbox container. And that is it for our header section. Now after this we need to change this image container because here we were using this float left property. So just remove this because we are going to use display flex to align these images side by side. And after hitting save, you can see images are not side by side. Now the first thing that we need to do is to check which is the parent container of these images. And so the parent container of these images is this div element with the class of container. So we need to add display flex to this div container. Now let's find this div in our CSS file, and here you can see we have this dot container selector, and here we just need to use our display flex property. Now after saving, you can see our images are now side by side just like before. And one thing that I also want to change here is this margin property, because now I want to use gap property to give space between these images. So we need to use this gap property on this container where we are using this display flex, just using gap property and setting its value to 1 rem. But here at the bottom of these images we have a problem. So to fix this, we just need to add margin bottom of 1 rem to this element like this, and now our box shadow is showing at the bottom. Now we successfully added display flex to our website, and the next thing that we are going to do is to create this hero section into this website. Now let's start building this section. Now after reducing the size of my window, I just noticed that we need to use one more thing to this container. Right now these images are not wrapping, and because these are not wrapping, that is why we have this scroll bar at the bottom of these images. So we need to fix this, and for this fix we just need to add flex wrap property and setting its value to wrap, and beautiful. Now you can see that horizontal scroll bar is now gone and our images are wrapping nicely. Now please open your index.html file so we can create our hero section in this file, and we are going to create this between this header and this places section. And here I am just adding a comment that this is our hero section, like this. In here we are going to use our section element with the class of hero section, like this. Now in this hero section, as you can see, we have a multi-column display. So to build a display like this, we need to use two containers because we have two sides. On one side we have this heading, this paragraph and this button, and on our right side we have just an image. So we need two separate containers so that when we use display flex on this hero section, we can easily make both of them to sit side by side. So first we need a container with the class name of hero content, like this, and we need a container for our image, and I am giving this container a class name of hero img container, and in here we will add image, and in this upper container we are going to add heading and our paragraph and our button. So first thing first, in this hero content container we need to use our heading, and the class for this heading is hero heading, like this, and the content for this heading is this journey through breathtaking landscapes. And now after this heading we have a paragraph with the class name of hero para, and for paragraph we just need to use lorem 20, like this. Now the third thing that we need in this container is that call to action button, and for this I am just creating a div with the class name of hero btn container, and in this just using a link element, and for href you can use hashtag places, like that, and just close this tag. After this we need to add some text for our link, which is let's visit, and our hero content section is now completed. We have our heading and our paragraph and this link that we are going to style in a second, but first we need to add our image here that we want at the right of our hero section. So just to add image, use image element, then source attribute, then alt attribute, and for this alt attribute just you can write anything that you want. I am just writing hero image, and path of this image is images slash hero image dot jpg, like this. Now that is all that we want to add for our hero section: heading, paragraph, link and this image. Now the second step is to style all these elements, and first of all I am selecting this hero section and I am putting this into our CSS file after this nav section, and here it is a good practice to add comments while coding so we can remember which styles are we applying here. So these styles are for hero section, and after this I am just adding the class name of our hero section. Now for this hero section, first thing that we need is to add some space on the top of this section. So to add space on top, using margin top property and setting its value to 7 rep. After saving, we have some space between this header section and our hero section. Now after this I want to decrease the size of this image. First we need to select this image, and as you can see this image is in hero image container. So first I am selecting this hero image container, and in this we have our image. Now I am decreasing its width to 26 rem, and after saving, this is the size of our image. Now I want to add some border radius to this image, so I can give this image rounded corners. Just add border radius, and I am using here 20 pixels of border radius like this. Now after this, to position this image to the right side of this content section, we just need to use our display flex property on our parent container, and the parent container, as you know, is this hero section, and this is parent of this hero content and this image. So just using display flex, and after saving, our image is now at the right of this content section. Let's make the size of our window bigger so we can see what else we need to do here. We need some gap between this container and this image, and we can use our gap property on this hero section because this is the parent of both of these. Now the value for this I am using 3 rem. After hitting save, now we have nice little gap between both of these containers. And now I am selecting this hero content container like this, and on our hero content container, first thing we need to do is to reduce the width of this container so we can align this content at center. So here I am using max width, and I am setting its value to 800 pixels, and for the height of this section I am setting it to 474 pixels like this. Now to make these both sections horizontally centered, we need to use justify content property in this hero section. Now both of these are now horizontally centered. Now I want to style this heading which is in our hero section, and to style this we just need to copy this hero heading class and just pasting its name after this hero content styles, and here we are going to style our heading. So for heading we just need to change the font size to 76 pixels and font weight to 500, and that's all that we need to use on this hero heading. After this we have our paragraph. So to select this we have this class name which is hero para. Just copying its name and pasting into our style.css file. And for this paragraph, first we need to use our font size property to change the size of our paragraph to 20 pixels, and then using just color property and setting its value to hashtag 333. After this I am going to decrease the width of this paragraph, so using our max width property and setting it to 45 rem. And then to give some space between this paragraph and this button and heading, I am just using our margin property, and here we just need top and bottom margin of 2 rem, and for left and right I am setting it to 0. And I also want to use this line height property to increase the line height, and I am setting its value to 1.6. Now our hero section is looking good. Now the only thing that is left is to style this call to action button which is let's visit. So to style this, first I am selecting our hero btn container and pasting it right after hero para styles. Now the first thing that I am going to apply is to change the background color of this to hashtag 007BFF. Now as you can see, this is occupying full width of its parent container. So I just want to decrease its width, and I am setting its width to 9 rem. Now after setting width, we also need to change its height to 4 rem. And to center this text, now to center this link inside this div container, we need to use our display flex property. And here we need to center this text both horizontally and vertically. So we need to use both of those properties, and those are align items and setting its value to center, and the second one was justify content center like this. And as you can see, now our content of this container is now horizontally and vertically centered, and now we need to change its border radius so we can make this button a rounded button. And now I am setting its value like 120 pixels to make this fully rounded. And right now if I hover to this button, our cursor is not changing to pointer. So we need to change this by using our cursor property and setting it to pointer. And now if I hover to this button, our cursor is now changing to this pointer. And at last, I am just using the transition property because after this, I am changing its hover state, so we have nice effect on changing the background color of this button. So here transition all, then 0.5 seconds. Now to change the hover state, first we need to select out this container button and selecting its hover state, and on hover we just need to change the background color to hashtag 0069D9. And now if I go to this button, you can see this nice effect on hover. And now our background color is changing nicely. And at last we just need to change the color of our link. So first we need to select this link. As we know, our link is in hero btn container, and in this we have our link element. So to change color we just need to use color and hashtag FFF. And the second thing that we need to do is to remove this horizontal line from our link. I hope at this point you know how to remove this line by simply using our text decoration property and setting its value to none. Now just changing its font weight to 500 and changing its font size to 20 pixels. And we successfully created our hero section using Flexbox. Now here I want you to see what happened when I click on this button. You can see this is moving toward this places section, and this is moving because on our link element we are using the ID of this places section, and by using this ID we can add this functionality to any button. And like this places section, if we have any other section after this, we can also use this ID to move toward that section. Like when I click on this let's visit button, we are automatically moved to our places section. But this movement is not so good. As I hit on this button, suddenly this moved toward this section. So to make this effect better, we can just use a property which is scroll behavior, and we need to set its value to smooth like this. Now after saving, if I hit this button again, you can see now our scroll behavior is smooth. And with this we successfully completed our hero section using Flexbox. And right now if we inspect this and if we decrease the size of our window, you can see our designs are not responsive right now. And to make our design responsive so that they can look good on smaller devices as well, we need to learn about concept of media queries. By using media queries, we can build responsive layouts, and that is what we will learn in the next video. So stay tuned. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to join this exciting web development journey with us. And if you have any questions or suggestions, you can put those in the comment section below. Until next time, keep coding and keep creating. I will see you in the next video.